Hello and welcome to Unexplained Possibilities Podcast. I'm your host, Melvin the Crimson Taurus, and with me is my co-host, the third-eyed mystic herself, the very lovely Neima.
Hello, everyone.
How you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, aside from the tech problems.
Yeah, but we figured it out really fast, so that's
Well, yeah,
good.
faster than normal. I don't know what's going
Yeah.
on with the past couple of weeks and just trying to get things working.
Well, we're out of Mercury retrograde, so
Oh,
that's
so,
good.
okay, so that's why we figured it out faster.
Yeah.
Ooh, go us.
Go Mercury.
So, we have a very good show for you guys tonight. And, I'm just going to come out and be honest. This is one of the few shows that I'm not very confident in because I legit, or rather, at the time, I knew jack squat about our topic. And we're not going to jump into it right away. We're going to ease on in there. You know how we like to make a little bit of small talk. But it was something that I never even heard of until Neima brought it up, and then I was just like, huh? What? It's a fun little topic, I think, and it's very interesting. But before that, did you hear about this strange light that popped up in LA on, it was May the 4th?
No, I haven't. What's up with
Yeah.
that?
Okay, so on May 4th, dashcam footage captured a random, very large flash of light. Alright, this person was just driving on the freeway, and boom, you just see it off in the distance, and it was like, what the? And many, many people reported seeing this thing, and no one could say what it was. Of course, the experts, and I use that term lightly, they said that it is uh, they said that the flash was part of a meteor shower that was passing by at the time, and it peaked on Saturday and Sunday. But my issue is it looked like that came from the ground up and not from the sky at an angle going down.
Hmm. Yeah, you're gonna have to send me the link to that. That sounds pretty interesting.
Yeah, I shall do that. So it's only one video that I know of, and
Mm-hmm.
I was watching it relentlessly. Like, what is this? And as people know, if you follow the channel, this isn't the first time Los Angeles has had an interesting little light show. Last year, we had, and I spoke about this, a weird green light that decided to go boom in the stratosphere. And experts said that was just space junk, but, come on, guys.
Is it aliens?
I won't
What is
say
it?
it's aliens, but I'm gonna say it could be aliens.
We're not gonna come out and say it, but basically.
Yeah, no, just make up your own mind. That's how it is. You have to figure it out on your own. The next piece of information, also from Los Angeles, there have
Mhm.
been quite a few UFO sightings recently. Like, they've been ramping up. I have no
Really?
idea why. Yes. Someone captured a UFO over Griffith Park, and another person, and this one was quite interesting because someone captured what appeared to be a flying humanoid suit.
What?
Yes, it's a white suit, and it's literally hovering around in the sky. You don't see any strings or nothing. I mean, it could be balloons, but it
Mm-hmm.
looks like a straight up spacesuit. And it's just flying on along, and it's humanoid. And it's like, what is that?
Oh, that sounds so cool.
So I will remember
I
to
guess
link you all these videos.
Yeah. How recent are all these?
Oh, all in May.
Wow.
Yeah, not even a week old. The final capture was a fleet of UFOs. Yes, someone actually captured several UFOs at one time. What's going on with the sightings?
With the
The UFO
what?
sightings and that flash of light.
Oh my goodness. You know, I just feel like everything that's been recorded has always been there. It's just becoming more visible to our race.
Maybe.
That makes sense.
No, it makes sense. I get it.
Yeah. Like we're evolving to a point where we can actually see these things.
You were saying that you believe the veil might be thinning a little bit. What is this veil and why would it be thinning?
I just think that the human race is evolving. Like a lot of people are questioning existence and alien disclosure, whatever it could be, and we're evolving into a more advanced species so we can actually see things that previously we couldn't see. So the UFOs and stuff like that. It's becoming more visible to our human eye.
Now, what about people who are, I guess you could say, psychic or clairvoyant, who can actually see that stuff just from birth?
That's, yeah, they're very gifted. I mean, that's awesome.
You know, is that really a gift, though? I mean, this is my pessimistic side coming out. Is that really a gift, though? I mean, do you really want to see some of that stuff that you see?
Right, exactly. Yeah, I thought of that as well. Like, I don't know if I want to see a bunch of dead people walking around and stuff like that, but I mean, you know, it could be a gift, it could not. Depends on the person who has it, right? What do they consider it?
Yeah, it really does depend.
So if you had those gifts, you be like, oh man, this sucks?
I'm kind of pessimistic, so yes, I would say, oh man, this freaking sucks. I don't want this. I don't want to deal with this.
Too much.
It's too much. Now, I tell you what though, I would be all right if I can speak to animals and stuff like those animal psychics. That's pretty cool.
Really?
Yeah. Well, I'm an animal lover. Go
Huh.
figure.
So do you think like animals, an animal's consciousness is a lot more better to read than than a human's?
I would hope so because well, now here's the thing. You know, I'm not trying to, this is going to come out and make it sound like I'm saying they're stupid, but I don't think animals are dumb. I think they have a simpler life and they,
Mhm.
unless they're in an abusive family, I think that they just live life. They do their thing, you know,
Yeah.
and I think hearing their perspective on things, if that makes any sense, I sound crazy, but getting an animal's perspective on something will give you a new outlook on it. You
Okay.
know, for instance, there was this show, they did a special on PBS, and they were talking about the lives of cats, and they put cameras on them. And these cats, they did the most interesting things because, you know, cats are lazy. They sleep like 15 hours a day. Well, for
Yeah.
2 hours at night, they would get active and they would roam around. And it turns out they would roam around up to 5 miles and just kicking it, doing whatever, going here, going there, looking at things, you know, for no real reason that we can figure out. So I would like to ask, what are you doing? What do you see in this world that, you know, you sleep all day, then you get active here, and you know, I'm just curious about that. Or a dog. Like, are you guys really this simple minded where, you know, you hear the little food bowl and it's like, it's time to eat! Eat, 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 you know, or are you are you guys more intellectual and you're just putting on a facade?
Oh wow, that'd be wild if they actually were.
That's what I want to know, man. Like, I think that would be so cool.
Hmm. Interesting.
I guess it's just one of the universe's mysteries.
Yeah.
I think we ought to get a pet psychic on here. I want to get a pet
Ooh,
psychic
that,
on the show
yeah.
now.
Yeah, you should try that.
I
That'd
do
be
know
cool.
one. Do you remember the show Robin Big?
Yes! I
Okay,
love
yeah.
that show.
Big Black, he just recently passed away.
Oh my goodness. That
Yeah,
sucks.
it was something to do with his heart, like a heart attack or cardiac arrest or something like that. Apparently, it ran in his
No.
family.
No, that's terrible.
Yeah, but on there, I remember this episode where the or not pit bull, the bulldog, Beefy, or
Mm-hmm.
no, Beefy's the second one. Meaty was acting up, and they got a pet psychic, and she was just speaking to him, and it's like, oh yeah, here's your problem. It's too many guys, and you need a woman. So I don't know. I just thought it was interesting. I was like, oh okay. So all right, cool. We'll get a pet psychic. That'll be awesome.
Yeah.
Interesting talk. You have a pet, right?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah,
I have
okay.
a
Well, maybe
dog
she
named
could
Opie.
get some vibes off of her.
Okay.
That would
Yeah,
be
we'll try.
interesting. Yeah, this chick, she smokes the shrooms, right? Well, she for some reason thinks I'm having an in-depth conversation with her about the universe and mysteries and all this.
Oh my God. He's like, well, it's true. We do have intense conversations.
Speaking of mysteries of the universe, let's get to our topic at hand, which you introduced me to. These weird things, or I can't even say
Weird.
they're weird. They're just
Yeah, you
mysterious.
can. Hmm.
The seven universal laws, also known as the seven hermetic principles.
Yep, that is correct.
Yeah, you
Um,
want to talk about
it
something having my brains ooze out of my ears. This did it.
right. I read. I took most of my information from the book, The Kabbalah,
Mm-hmm.
a study of the Hermetic philosophy of ancient Greece, Egypt, and Greece. I read through it and I actually finished it, but there was definitely those chapters where I just felt my head going in complete circles.
Yeah,
Like I had to take a step back.
I didn't even go that in depth, and I felt like just what's happening to my what are these words? What is this? But I did understand some of it, though. I mean, I did get something from it, and I'm hoping you guys who are listening will be able to get something from this as well.
Mm-hmm.
First up, before we get into the specifics, we should say that within the seven laws or principles, whichever you prefer, there are mutable and immutable type things. Is that the correct way of saying type things? It sounds so ridiculous.
What do you, yeah, go on about that because I'm not familiar with that terminology in there.
Okay, so basically it means that the laws, three of them are immutable, which means they can never be changed, and
Okay.
they are absolute no matter what. And then there are four laws that are mutable, which means that they can be surpassed and adapted to life better. That's a better fit for you. So they're not absolute, but I guess the best way to put it, they would be considered somewhat minor, and the other three, the immutable ones, would be considered major. So think of it like tarot cards. You have your major arcana and your minor arcana. And
Okay.
the minor arcana, it doesn't, it's not less important per se, but it has a little bit, the meanings can be more flexible and a little bit different versus the major arcana, which is more solid. This means this, period. Does that make sense?
Yes. So, which three are absolute?
The first three, actually. They made it simple for us.
Oh, really? Okay.
The law of mentalism, or law of the mind, law of correspondence, and the law of vibration. Those three are immutable. They just can't be changed. They are absolute. While the law of polarity, the law of rhythm, cause and effect, and the law of gender, those are immutable. And I think with the law of gender, which is the seventh and the last one, I understand that one the best because I'm able to view that one from a yin yang type perspective, with the positive and negative, or not, I can't even say positive and negative. People get the wrong idea when you say negative energy. So with the masculine and feminine energy.
Okay. Yeah, because I remember you hitting me up and saying that you have difficulty, so that's good. I
Yeah.
like their explanation in the book when they changed the negative pole into cathode, meaning descent. So I think that's more interesting because I think people do have a bad thought when they hear negative. They obviously assume it means something bad or weakness or below.
Yeah, when it doesn't, it's literally talking about energy.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so I guess we should start off with numero uno. Oh wow, I sound horrible when I try to speak another language. Ugh. I sound like a gringo, as they say. Gosh.
I mean, I didn't even really notice. I thought it was okay, but then again, what do I know?
Okay, so number one, law of mentalism or law of the mind. This was, of course, one of the all of them except for two threw me. So let me get that out the way now. I sort of understood this one as, if you can think it, you can speak it into reality. Is that
Okay.
like, so I guess you could say it's a mind over matter type thing.
Right, like your thoughts are creations.
Yes. And
Mhm.
in that sense, in a strange way, we're all our own creators, you know?
Right. Yeah, you create your reality, and everything that you see around you is a manifestation of your thoughts, which is in the mind, which is in the all.
So, what have you manifested lately?
I mean, I'm manifested this podcast, this writing down these notes, this coffee in my cup,
Coffee.
literally everything around me, right?
You drink
You
coffee?
don't like coffee?
I never had
You
a
don't
sip
like
of
coffee?
coffee a day in my life.
Oh, good. Well, that's good for you. Good for you. Don't do it. It's addicting.
Is it? I don't know.
It's very addicting. I started drinking coffee when I was 8 years old, I think. Maybe even younger. Never stopped.
I think someone has a problem.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to rehab for coffee.
There are worse things. Yeah.
Exactly.
All right. So, yeah, you speak it into existence. And would you say, though, that you really have to believe and just know what it is you're speaking about? Like, you can't just say, I need money. I hope I get it. No, no, no. You have to be strong willed. Like, I need money. I'm going to get money. I don't know how, but I'm going to make it happen. It's going to come. So would that be a type of manifestation by putting it out there and envisioning that you have it? And yeah, if you say you have it, and the universe will provide. Would you say that's a type of mentalism?
I mean, I think that's a very, um, what's the word? Like, it's a very straight to the point kind of thing. I think you could go more. I think manifestation is more like in depth. Like when you say, "Oh, I want money." Okay, like how do you envision yourself getting that money? How do you envision your career growing, or how do you envision that money manifesting in your reality? Like, how are you going to get it? Are you going to win the lottery? Are you going to actually work for it? Like, how you got to meditate and think about how you're going to create that for yourself. And then you ask the universe by meditating on it. And I think surely it'll happen as long as you stay positive.
Oh,
Does
okay.
that make
Yeah,
sense?
that makes. I am so happy you're here. That makes more sense. Mentalism. See it, envision it, put it out there. Think how you can work towards it, and like Nike, just do it. All right, so let's move on to number two. So you guys can know I want to spend about 7 to 10 minutes on each of these, and it's a lot to it, and I realize we're going to go through them semi fast, but it's to hopefully get you interested in it and for you to do your own research because everyone is going to interpret these laws, these universal laws, differently than the next person.
Correct. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so universal law number two, also immutable, meaning it's absolute, can't change it. The law of correspondence. And this was another one that threw me. I get the sense that it's like everything has a type of relation with something else. In other words, everything is connected.
Correct.
And I suppose we can almost say it's, I don't want to say hive mind because that's not it, because we still have our individuality, but on the larger scale, we are connected through maybe energy, maybe, well, no, that's it. We are connected through energy and this universe. I mean, but we have to look past, of course, the physical shell and into the spiritual shell. Or, well, I guess it wouldn't be a spiritual shell, would it? So would it
Um,
be a spiritual
what?
nut?
I'm pretty sure there's plenty of terms we could think of.
I
Um,
might call it that, the spiritual nut. I mean, what's in a shell? Usually a nut.
True.
Yeah, okay. So look through the physical, the physical. It's so stupid. Look through the physical shell into the spiritual nut. Um, what's your interpretation on the law of correspondence?
Right. I think I had some difficulty with this one. Correspondence basically means like the agreement of things with one another and a particular similarity. So it just means that there's harmony and agreement between the planes of manifestation, life, and being. So on the physical plane and the mental plane and the spiritual plane. It was kind of confusing. It was like I could see it as a degree.
He said it's so much more elegant than I ever could.
I took notes.
Well, I took notes too. It's just
Oh,
mines are like third grade level, and here you are in college and, writing a freaking thesis.
my bad.
Oh no, it's fine. I mean, I'm actually surprised I can read my handwriting for once.
I want to say this is like, I don't know if I'm confusing it with another law, but it's kind of like everything is a different vibration or a different degree of dimension, but it's all one, if that makes sense. So you're
Well,
just going up a degree, but it's all part of the same thing.
okay, no, so it's like a river, and water in general. You know, it rains, flows into a lake, or drops into a lake, lake turns into a river, river goes into the sea and goes to the ocean and all that, and rinse and repeat. It's like that type of thing going on, where even though it's differences, it's still the same.
Right. It all consists of water
Yes.
or a water molecule. Hmm.
Okay, so how can we explain that or do a comparison with people? Now, that's going to be tough. Well, no, because I actually, going back to the animal kingdom here, and I use this as an example to teach some kids about hatred. Yes, I know, wise old Melvin. Um, I said that, look, everyone is different on the outside, but for the most part, on the inside, we're all like nasty, gooey bits and slimy and all this stuff. And of course, they said, ew. And then I was like, all right, let me be more specific. When you see a cat, what do you see? Neema, what do you see?
I see a cat with green
Okay.
eyes and black fur, and it's a little kitten.
Okay, so black fur. We'll go with that. Well, when you see an
Okay,
orange cat, what do you see?
an orange cat.
Yeah, but ultimately, it's still a cat, right?
Yeah,
I mean, the only difference really being their color.
correct. Mhm.
But again, they're a cat. You know, do you think the cat sees when it, this is where we need the pet psychic, but do you think the cat sees something else when it's looking at the other cat? Do you think it notices it's the color of its fur or even cares?
Mm. Right, yeah,
You know, it's
it's
like
true.
a cat sees a cat just like people should see people. You know, we're all one and the same. We all have some type of relation to one another. Um, Maybe not by blood, but it could be we both work extremely hard, underpaid, trying to support our families. There's a connection there. I understand you. You understand me.
Right, exactly. There's a possibility for similarity in
Yeah.
everything.
So I guess for me, that's what I get when I think and speak of this law of correspondence.
Hmm.
But like I said, you put it way more elegantly.
Okay,
Well, you did. That's a compliment.
thanks.
That didn't sound like, yeah, that was just like whatever, and you just brushed me off your shoulder, like go somewhere, idiot.
No, I usually do that. I have a hard time accepting compliments in an appropriate manner.
So wait. Are you telling me some guy, totally innocent, has no devious thoughts at all, says,
Yeah.
"Oh, hey, wow, you have really pretty eyes. Blow me, dill hole." And I mean,
I get Tourette's. Yeah. Just kidding. No. Yeah, I'm just like, I say the same thing. I say thanks, but I guess it's the tone that is like, it just doesn't fit the compliment, I guess.
okay, whatever. I'll go with that.
It happens.
Yeah, it does. There's no correspondence there. Don't compliment this lady, all right, guys? That sounds
Yeah,
so
don't do it.
terrible. You know, if someone just popped in and they heard me say that, it would be taken out of context so horribly.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely.
Oh well, it happens. Okay, now this one, the third law, the law of vibration. This is something I know so many people speak about, and I usually feign that I know exactly what they're talking about when really I don't. And this is the
Mhm.
vibration aspect. I still don't understand this, despite how hard I tried. And I don't know. My little brain just it wasn't the hamster wheels just weren't spinning for this. Would this
Really?
actually
I
be
feel like this
considered
was
a?
the easiest.
Oh, say that again.
I said I feel like this one was the easiest for me.
So okay. My hamster wheels just it wasn't picking it up. I I don't even know how I can interpret this because when I think of vibration, I try to look at it on, well, I'll just say what I was told. Basically, your vibrations determine your openness or something like that. Oh, look, I'm even saying that wrong. That's how confused I was on this. But essentially, everything is in motion and everything happens for a reason. I don't know. I can't even say. What is this?
All right, I have my notes written down. So, the principle of vibration, nothing rests, everything moves, everything vibrates. Everything is in constant motion. So, basically, I mean, everything is constantly moving. Even when you think about atoms, they're like, it's not, there's never still motion in anything. Everything is constantly moving. So your vibration could be so low that it appears to be still, or it could be vibrating at such a high intensity that it appears to be not moving. So like I think in the book they refer to a wheel of a car that's moving so fast that it appears like it's not moving at all,
Oh my God, this is almost like
and vice
time
versa.
travel.
Yeah.
Well, no, no, no. I gave this analogy one time where how time travel was possible if you're going so fast that it appears you're not moving and everything else around you is, and something like that.
There
And
you go.
okay, boy, I feel like I'm back in school. I, I get it! Yay, teacher, I get it! Okay. Now I think I'm starting to understand why they say angels, for instance, are at a higher vibration than humans.
Correct. Yeah, exactly. Mhm. Or a higher consciousness is a higher vibration, vibratory field.
So, does that mean that they understand more? Is that correct in saying?
I feel like I think I yeah, I believe you could say that. It's more of an understanding thing, but it's also not not dwelling in the lower frequency
Okay.
aspect. So, you know, it's kind of just like evolving up in a way.
Oh, wow. Now, now I'm starting to think about reincarnation here. They say that you can choose to be reincarnated or, I don't know, reincarnated. Why does that sound so weird to me? Like, you ever have
I
one of
don't
those
know.
words that are just like, I know I'm saying
I
this
do
right,
that.
but it just sounds weird.
Oh my God, I do that all the time. All the
Okay,
time.
so I'm not alone. But anyway, um, yeah, they say you could choose to be reincarnated if you want or not. But if you do choose that and you you didn't reach a higher level of understanding, you'll repeat the cycle of you, in this case, coming back as a human or an earthling and live your life. And hopefully, this time you get an understanding and learn and grow and move on to a higher. conscious level, I suppose you could say.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking about how the vibrations fit into that, and then since everything is in motion as well, I mean it's nonstop. I mean this thing it probably happens instantly.
Hmm. Yeah, everything's constantly moving, constantly evolving. Hmm.
Wow,
Pretty
and
much.
then this can also play an effect with time because time is forever in motion. There is no such thing as the end of time. If time truly
Correct.
exists, I mean, that's going into something else. But how do you feel about your vibrations?
I feel like I am growing upwards. I feel like I'm starting to vibrate at a higher capacity, I would say.
Like,
Is
as opposed to a lower capacity?
right. I mean, yeah, so a lot of stuff that used to what I would consider as a low frequency vibration or low vibration, I no longer allow
Hmm.
in my experience.
Yeah. So you experience self growth.
Exactly. Yeah, and you just maneuver through it. You learn how to say no to
Yeah. Well,
negative energies.
yeah, that's the thing. Unfortunately, we as people sometimes we don't push ourselves for better, and we allow ourselves to fall back into just stupid mess, things that affect us in a negative way, and we don't try to get out of it. That's one thing people just need to do is to just continue pushing forward regardless and try and find that happy place, that happy place, happy Gilmore. In all
I
seriousness though, you know, we all have to do some type of self growth.
agree.
Okay, so now polarity. Yes, number 4, the law of polarity. This one was somewhat easier for me to understand because I know the meaning of polarity and I also think of bipolar. And essentially, everything has an opposite, and there are two sides to every coin. And this also, I believe anyway, it also might play into our perception of things as well.
What do you mean?
Okay, so for instance, let's say, well, I am from, okay, being from where I am and you being from, well, I don't even know where you're from. We'll just say you're from a jungle. Yeah, we'll go with that.
All right.
All right, so we we come in contact with a bee. I'm terrified of bees. I don't like them. I won't go out of my way to harm them, but I don't like them. If it comes near me, we're going to have an issue. I think they're hideous. They need to go away. Versus, that's my perception. I see them as nothing but a nuisance and they don't do any good at all. Versus you, who are from the jungle, you see a bee, you see it as a loving creature that is pollinating flowers and stuff, and is producing honey that you can use to survive off of.
Correct.
So we're opposites. What I see as a nuisance, you see as a life giver.
Exactly.
And, so would you say that plays into polarity a little bit?
A little bit. I can see the opposing sides.
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel that polarity has a lot to do with perception and, of course, life experiences. And the good thing is, you're never going to meet someone who's exactly like you. It's always going to be some type of difference.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
I mean, how freaky would that be, man? Meeting someone exactly
Like
like you.
exactly. Oh my
That
goodness.
would be so annoying. More so than anything, I think it would be annoying. That's what I get out of it.
There can only be one.
Yeah, exactly. I must kill you now. What?
But then they'd be thinking the same thing. So
We have a predicament. How does that work? Oh wow, something like that happened in an episode of Star Trek. No, no, no. It was Star Trek Nemesis, as a matter of fact, when Picard had to face pretty much a clone of himself, and the inner nerd's coming out. Neima, your take on polarity, go.
what are you talking about? I like nerd stuff.
Well, okay, so
Go for it.
have you seen the Star Trek, the Next Generation movies?
No.
Okay, so the final Next Generation movie with Captain Picard is called Star Trek Nemesis. Awesome film. And he is pretty much going against a clone of himself. And they think alike, they have the same tactics, and they're in very advanced ships. It just so happened, though, that the clone is in a more advanced ship. And Picard has to figure out how to beat himself in this battle. And it's like, how do you beat someone who knows your every move? You know how hard it is to think outside. That's not even a box. That's a freaking circle. How do you think out of that?
Yeah, exactly. Because
I
every
won't.
time they try and think outside the box, they're going to be thinking outside the box with you. Like
Yeah, so,
the same thought.
it's like, how do you do this? You have to do something so totally unexpected and so stupid that you would never think of, but you think of because you'd never think of it and hope to God the other you doesn't think of it, or they'll think of it, and it's just a mess. But seriously, check out that movie. It's really good.
Okay.
All right, now your take on polarity.
Uh, yeah, I mean, everything is dual, everything has poles, and it's pair of opposites. So it kind of reminds me of, like the temperature. Temperature is temperature, but
Hmm.
there's different poles. So there's hot and there's cold, but it's one and the same. So it's the temperature. Regardless, it's temperature, but the degree decides whether it's hot or it's cold, which is the opposite of itself. Does that make sense?
Well, my hamster wheels are spinning, so it makes some sense, but I'm trying to fully understand it. And this is like, how weird I am. When you said hot and cold, I thought of the song by I think his name is
Katy
Jermaine.
Perry.
No, no, no,
Oh.
not Katy Perry. No, now I come on, give me no.
That'd have been so funny. He's like, yeah, Katy Perry.
Yeah, no, no. Not Katy Perry. The one by Jermaine Stewart. He's
Mhm.
before your time. He's before my time. Have you ever seen Weekend at Bernie's?
Nope.
We're gonna hang out one day and we're just gonna have a movie marathon. And I know it's gonna be
Oh my
hard for you to
God.
sit still. I get that. So I'll just tie you down if need be. But we're
What?
gonna have a movie marathon. But anyway, it's a song in there called Hot and Cold. And some like it
Mhm.
hot, some like it cold. Yeah, yeah, some never know. So
Okay.
you just reminded me of that. What's your polarity? How do you even answer that? What kind of
hey,
question is
I'm
that?
a
What's your
Gemini,
polarity?
so I'm a Gemini, so I already got two sides
Oh,
to
that's
me.
right. Psycho and crazy.
Yeah. pretty much.
That's
But
right.
it's one and the same, you know? Psycho and crazy is one and the same. So that makes sense.
Now, actually, you know what? Let's use us as an example again because I'm a Taurus. I am,
Hmm.
well, I am very slow, and I openly admit I can be pretty darn lazy. Like,
Lazy.
oh yeah, oh yeah,
I wouldn't define you as lazy, but really?
yeah.
Wow.
Oh, believe me, I can be pretty lazy. Like, I have a habit of, well, I won't even say I put things off. I just do it on my time. As long as I get it done
Hmm.
before the deadline, who cares? That's how I see it. But I really can be lazy. Like, I drop a fork. I see this fork, but if I'm laying on the couch and it's within arm's reach, I could totally, with my long arms, just get it and put it back on the table or something. I just look at it and I say, I'll get it later. I don't have any bugs around here, so it's cool. So, yeah, I can be lazy.
Okay.
That's how you know I don't have a woman.
Oh my God.
So, yeah, you're thinking like, you're right. I would never do that. Just pick it up. Just pick it up. It's right there. Why wouldn't you just pick it up, Melvin? I don't know. So, and I'm assuming you would actually just pick it up and put it back on the table, right?
Yeah.
So, there you
Yeah.
guys go. There's your example of polarity. And this is something I don't have and I didn't understand at all because I know you might not like this, but I'm leaving this one totally up to you. And this is the fifth law, and that is the law of rhythm. I have no
Hmm.
rhythm. I don't understand what this is. It all fits together for me. So, what is this?
So the principle of rhythm, everything flows out and in, everything has its tides, all things rise and fall. Um, Basically, like what I automatically think about when I think of this is the waves. So they come crashing in and they recede.
So, like high tide, low tide.
Right, yeah.
Can you be more specific? I honestly, I'm not
Okay.
even joking.
So
I have nothing on the rhythm. I just did not understand it.
so there is always an action and a reaction, an advance and a retreat, a rising and a sinking of things. Does that make sense?
Yes.
So an action and there's obviously a reaction. Every time you talk to someone or do anything at all, like you're exerting that action and there's always going to be a reaction.
Oh, okay. Well, that almost sounds like the cause and the effect. Um, yeah, the cause and effect. So I can see
Mm-hmm.
how they would have a connection with each other.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you see, my biggest issue with rhythm was me thinking about like dancing to a beat or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
And
like the actual rhythm of a
yeah, and
song.
and then I get sidetracked and I'm like, I have no rhythm. I can't dance. And so I ended up in a train wreck of a thought.
So would you consider rhythm as like more of a flow? Like,
Yeah,
right?
actually,
So you
yes.
can't, okay.
That's one way to put it. Like, cause when you hear something and it feels good, or you're just walking around somewhere and you know how you just feel good. You feel uplifted, and I would say that's a type of rhythm you got going, and you get that little pep in your walk and everything. You start strutting.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's one way to put it. So rhythm
Yeah,
was very difficult for me.
Yeah, I think they even call that like a meditative state. It's like being in the flow. So it's yeah. So in that regard, you're right. Everything's just going smoothly. You're doing good, just going with the flow.
Now, what if something kind of throws off your rhythm?
Every action has a reaction. So if you're thrown off, then that pendulum is going to swing back. So you'll come back to your. If you get out of your rhythm, you'll come back to your rhythm.
All right, that makes sense. A type of rubber band effect.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. You ever got hit by a rubber band?
Oh yeah, all the time in school.
That sucks. I got hit with one in one day, I kid you not, about 15 times. It never happened again after the 15th because I was mad. I pretty much chokeslammed the kid.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, well.
That's not funny, but.
Oh no, it's funny. You can laugh. He deserved it. Yeah, as a matter of fact, let's see if I could equate some of my school life to this rhythm here. Because, every action has a reaction, right? So his action was to keep pushing his luck. My reaction was to end his luck.
There you go.
This brings us to cause and effect, which kind of throws off what I initially wanted to say cause and effect was, for me anyway. And because I viewed it as every action has a reaction.
Oh, okay.
But to further state, I actually started to think of it more like karma. And you are the one, your energy is what is causing said actions and reactions. Because, with karma, what you put out there, it comes back.
Right.
And it doesn't necessarily mean if you punch someone else is going to punch you. No, it means that if you put out this negative energy and you truly feel like you're just in a bad spot and you're not trying to change it, you put it out there, then it's going to come right back to you. I mean, if you view things in a negative light, then it's all going to be negative. You're not going to see the joy in anything.
Right.
Versus if you try even just a little to see things in a more positive light and you put that out there, then your horizon is going to slowly but surely become more positive and you're going to feel better. And it's like, okay, I can see the changes here, and you'll notice things more versus being a pessimist.
Yeah, but it's and it's the active causes that create that effect of you changing your mindset. So if you have a changed mindset, it's going to take a lot of cause in adapting or changing your thoughts and how you do stuff in order to have that kind of positive effect.
Again, you put it so much better than I could. Thank you. No, I am so sick. Oh, wait, I gave you a compliment. Let me stop that. What's wrong with me? How dare I? Yeah, so, do you have an example for cause and effect for you that people might be able to relate to?
Okay, so back kind of topping off what you were saying. So for me, I think hell is a mindset. So you create your own hell inside your mind. So if you choose to feel bad about something, or you choose to feel those negative emotions and those feelings and to dwell on them, then that's your effect. You're going to be depressed, or you're going to have those repercussions because your thoughts are causing you to feel that way. So if you want to think differently, if you want to alter your perception of things or change who you are and how you, if you want more energy, let's say if you want more energy in your everyday, you want to be happier, you want to be a more energetic person, then you have to start putting that positivity in your mind first. You have to start changing the way you think about things in order to get that effect. So, yeah.
Oh.
Did you get that? Sorry, I
Yeah,
kind of
you,
cut
you
out.
just ended so abruptly there. I was really listening. I was actually taking notes. Oh yeah, no, I was I was saying like, oh, you ended abruptly there, but I was listening. I was taking notes, and I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think that could constitute with anything. So, and even if you say, okay, um, I feel like I'm lazy. I feel like I need to go work out. I want to be fit. Okay, well, that's the effect you want. So, what are going to be the multiple causes that get you to that effect or that result?
Hmm.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah, that makes
that's what I think.
sense. In that regard, would you say try not to take on more than you can handle? You know, we we as people, we tend to overdo it, especially early on, and we lose that motivation, and that's when the negative thinking starts coming back. For instance, with wanting to get in shape or fit, it's always at the start of the year. This is my New Year's resolution, and people they'll say like, I'm gonna have a beach body by this. I think one of the worst things we can ever do is put ourselves on a schedule and give ourselves a time limit to do any type of improvement. One of the worst things you could do, in my opinion. A lot of times people they don't succeed with it because they don't keep up with it because they put too much on their plates, and that in itself causes the motivation to go away. And the effect is you did not complete your goal. You're still doing what you were doing. So, would you say that baby steps is the way to go and increase little by little, thus causing you to, you might reach your goal slower, but you'll reach it instead of jumping on and doing everything at once?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like everyone should pace themselves with everything. Like, you got to take yourself into consideration and really look at your actions and how you handle things, especially adapting to like a new diet or a new exercise program or a new mindset set. It's, you have to be honest with yourself and pace it.
Okay, so yeah, that makes sense. Cause and effect. I
Yeah.
yeah, I really like that. I'm marking some notes down real quick, but that made a lot of sense, and I think that one out of all the the principles, laws here, I think that one's actually the most practical because I could see people viewing it from a more physical standpoint than a spiritual one. I think it's just easier to understand that way.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and we are now on the final principle or universal law, whichever you prefer to call it, the law of gender. So, from the start, I know it's going to be a couple of people who think, well, man, woman, guy, girl. It, it doesn't mean physical gender. It doesn't even mean like the sexes at all. It's talking about energy. And this goes back to the positive and negative, which, again, in this context of negative energy, people take it the wrong way. So they switched it up to masculine and feminine. And masculine energy doesn't necessarily mean that it's better than feminine energy and vice versa. If everyone has masculine and feminine energy, it's just depending on who you are, one's going to show more. So, for instance, going by astrology, we'll use these signs again. Aries would be considered masculine. It's a fire sign. It's aggressive, take charge. They're supposed to be leaders and, kind of take no mess. Versus Taurus, myself, we have more feminine energy at the start, meaning that we're more passive, usually don't like taking the lead, rather just hang back somewhere and kick it in the background. Um, Sometimes a little bit more compassionate than an Aries per se, but you get the point.
Mm-hmm.
And again, though, everyone has masculine and feminine energy. It's just what has the stronger influence. For me, I know for a fact I have more feminine energy, like at the top, than masculine. Doesn't mean I'm not a man. I'll bite a cactus and suck on some bug juice. Yeah, but it does mean that I'm just more passive than I am aggressive. Would you
Mm-hmm.
you want to help out with this?
Yeah, in that regard, Gemini is a masculine sign. However, I still have my feminine, so I totally see both sides.
Yeah. So
Uh,
since you're since you're masculine, you're not masculine at all, not physically, but since you have
since
that
you're
that
masculine.
since you have that masculine energy like at the forefront, like do you consider yourself aggressive?
No, I've been told that I've been passive aggressive.
Oh, you're one of them.
um, and times, and I could see like there's specific times where the aggression will come out, and I don't know. So I think I'm very all around the place.
Well, you are two-faced, so
Oh my God.
I I meant
Sounds
in
so
since you're
offensive.
since you're a Gemini. I don't mean
Oh,
like
I'm so sure.
I don't mean
I'm
you're
so sure
actually
yours is better.
two-faced. So you're gonna like, yeah, yeah, yeah. You go ahead. Don't worry. It's all cool. I got your back, and then stab me in the back with a knife. I don't mean that, but I just so many things are gonna be taken out of context. So, in your opinion, do you think one is better than the other in regards to masculine, feminine energy?
Can you repeat that? You cut out.
Do you think that masculine energy could be better than feminine, or feminine energy could be better than masculine, in your opinion?
No. No, I think it's a mutual balance. It's gender is like what do they say? Sex is the manifestation of gender on the physical plane. So I don't think one is better than the other. I think they balance each other out. They're equal. They're two of the same.
Okay, that makes sense. And I brought this up earlier, but like the yin yang,
Right, yeah. Um,
one can't exist without the other. And
exactly.
even though there are differences, they still combine to create one.
Exactly. Yeah.
But with yin yang, they usually say light and dark. And again, people get the wrong idea when they hear dark energy. They immediately think, oh, it's evil. Like, no, don't get that out of your head. It
Hmm.
doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm not even sure if I truly believe in evil. But that is quite literally a topic for another time.
Yeah.
So, but I'm thinking with the law of gender, you know, how can I guess I struggle with understanding how can you have, even though we do, but how can you have both masculine and feminine energy? And how do you determine which one shows up and which one doesn't? I mean, is there even a control for that?
What do you mean, like in your mind, or I'm
Yeah, in your
confused.
mind, spiritually, what determines what uh gender gender type energy is going to be dominant and the other one uh, recessive?
Hmm. I see your point.
I wonder about that. Like, do we, before we're born into this world again, do we have a choice, or is it pre-chosen? Like, does it actually have to do with astrology, or how the stars are lined up, what's happening in the world at the time? Is there an influence on, are there outside influences that affect us, that determine?
Right, what gender you're going to be or
Yeah.
what's going to dominate.
Yeah, I mean, I remember reading that quite literally there are serial killers because their moms didn't hug them enough as kids and give that feminine energy to them. So they have too much masculine energy and they don't know what to do with it, so they snap.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like, something as simple as a hug, which is considered feminine, that could calm you down and just keep you in check for a bit. I mean, for real? True study, too. And I actually was thinking to myself, when was the last time I had a hug? I mean, everyone says I always look guilty, I have shifty eyes, and I write like a serial killer.
You need to hug someone.
I really do.
Go go to the beach and just like wear one of those shirts that says free hugs.
You know, there's a couple of issues with that, and I'm not going to get
What?
into them.
Or you could go to like a music festival and wear one of those shirts. I'm pretty sure you'll get tons of hugs.
uh, Again, there could be some issues with that, but I might do it one day.
Hey, I'm
I
just trying to help you
Well, no,
out.
I think it's easier for a woman to get away with that than a 6'3", uh, shifty looking black guy. So,
Well, I mean, you're not gonna forcefully like go hug someone. Like they're gonna see your shirt and they're gonna come up to you and be like, "I would like to hug you."
you know what? That's an experiment I might try one day, just to see. You know what? That would be a cool social
Yeah.
experiment. Um, have several people, different ethnicities, different
I'm
sizes,
like,
different looks, and have everyone wear a hug me shirt. Of course, the women are going to get more hugs. It's just going to happen. But with the guys, that's going to be a race.
we should do that. We should do that.
Yeah, you know what? I think I will. I'll figure out how to do it in the future. That'll be a fun one to do. Ah, look at that! You just gave us an idea for a future show.
There you go. You're
And with
welcome.
that said, that is all the time we have for this one. Thank you all so much for joining us. And if you enjoyed, remember to give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to like and follow Unexplained Possibilities on Facebook and Twitter. Now, before we sign completely out, Neima, do you have anything you want to say?
No, thanks for having me. Had a great time once again.
Okay, you guys, with that said, remember, there are things that go bump in the night. We just didn't speak about them this time. Bye, everybody.